out of a very proud history, a great presence and future for this industry.
Well said.
Dennis O'Rourke.
Mr Speaker, it won't be long before it's 3 years since the February 2011 Christchurch earthquake. And it's now over 3 years since the September 2010 Greendale Fault earthquake. Who would have thought that after that period of time there would still be people trying to settle insurance claims, let alone actually getting progress on the rebuilding of their homes? Mr Speaker, let it be recorded for posterity that the constant delays by insurers over Canterbury earthquake claims, that the failures by insurers to honour their policies, that the treatment by insurers of people who place their trust in those policies and those companies, and that the full replacement insurance has not actually meant what it said, define what is one of the most disgraceful episodes in New Zealand's commercial history. Never has such utterly despicable behaviour been seen by commercial insurers on such a scale in this country. And, Mr Speaker, we're not just talking about a few cases, not just a small minority of difficult cases, but literally hundreds of cases. In fact, a very significant percentage of the whole. It's a national disgrace that this should still be the case 3 years from the disaster. And we're not talking just about a few of the insurers, but all of them. Some better than others. The current situation is truly an indictment on the insurance industry in New Zealand as a whole. Amongst the worst is an entity known as Southern Response. Now, isn't that a great name? Well, yeah, it would be if it was true, but Response is exactly what it is not. This is the entity which took over a failed insurer, AMI. It was so inept that when the first major disaster came along, for which it was required to be prepared, it didn't last 5 minutes and had to be taken over by the government. Now, that should have solved the problem, shouldn't it? Well, no, it did not. Anyone who saw the Campbell live show recently would know for sure that Southern Response is just another of the shonky insurers that we are all so disgusted with in Christchurch. Just another failure, just another incompetent performer, just another delayer, just another arrogant and unhelpful obstacle for policyholders. And in the meantime, people suffer, health suffers, families suffer and communities suffer. Mr Speaker, Christchurch people have had enough of it. And what on earth has the government been doing about it? It was told years ago that it needed to intervene, just as the Australian government intervened over past disasters there. That government did not tolerate the incompetence of insurers. They legislated, they regulated, they made sure that people were not put through what ours have been put through. After the first 2 years, all this national government would do is to provide some free advisers, not even advocates. The response from our government since has been a long, deafening silence. So after the next election, when New Zealand First forms part of the next government, we will seek to establish a new state insurance company to replace the one sold by Labor. We will get a new one, Kiwi Shore, to ensure that there is a reliable insurer which will give genuine replacement insurance and deal with disaster claims promptly and fairly. Mr Speaker, that is why this country needs New Zealand First, because it needs good governance and people need a fair go.
Well done. Excellent.
Te Urara Flavel.
Tēnā koe, Mr Speaker. Kia ora tātou. Mr Speaker.